morning. This is the Institute for Open Learning, Natural Science and Health Education 2, ACP Nshe12. I'm your tutor, Ms. H. Kamati Shikwambi, and you will find my email address huldazaniak@yahoo.com for any inquiries. Now, what will the papers look like? To prepare for the paper, you must look at the objectives in the study guides of the subject and study from the grade 12 Physical Science for Senior Secondary by LBL Longman book. You can also make use of the NAMCO question paper booklets and your NHE12 study guide. Remember, once again, the following is not the examination paper. This is only questions to guide you with your preparations. When preparing for the exam, you need to be able to ask yourself the following question. Did I read the asked questions correctly? Did I understand the questions? Will I be able to answer the questions correctly? Will I be able to explain it to my student in such a way that they will also understand? Also, when preparing for the exam, you need to study with your syllabus in order to know what your aims and objectives are. The questions were set up correlating the questions found in all the assignments and the content from each study guide. The assignment headed in for 2019 must still be used in preparation for the examination throughout the year. Now, with the topic reference to waves, sounds, and light. Would you be able to identify the different types of waves we get? Can you define an echo? And would you be able to calculate the reflected sound? Do you know how to draw ray diagrams? And also, would you be able to state properties of all the images formed? With reference to your study guide EL01, speed, mass, and density. Can you define the following terms? Speed, velocity, mass, density, and volume. Will you also be able to differentiate between these terms? Would you be able to calculate each quantities with the correct formula and the correct unit? Please take note of that. Always have the correct formula and the correct unit for each and every quantity that you are calculating. Will you be able to explain the speed time graph to your learners? How about calculating the acceleration and distance on a speed time graph? Can you define acceleration and deceleration? Can you differentiate between the two? Would you be able to determine the density of a liquid and a regular shaped solid? All of those questions is with reference to speed, mass, and density. Now, with reference to the periodic table, in your study guide EL01-2, do you know the difference between protons, neutrons, and electrons? Would you be able to calculate and identify them on a periodic table? Do you know your periodic trends of all the elements? How about the melting and boiling points? Do you know the status and phases of matter? Would you be able to explain the kinetic particle theory in terms of expansion and compressibility to your learners? Can you define covalent, metallic, and ionic bond? Would you be able to draw the Bohr structures and bond given elements? Do you know your ions? Would you be able to explain and draw structures of, example, silicon dioxide? All of these questions is with reference to the periodic table. Please take note of that. Now, with reference to the topic metals, do you know your reactivity series? Would you be able to explain the extractions of metals and naming their ores to your learners? Can you name the uses of iron and aluminium? Would you be able to explain why a piece of aluminium left in damp condition does not corrode? Do you know your halide compounds? Do you know the formula of bromine molecule, magnesium chloride, and potassium fluoride? Can you calculate moles in a given equation? What about the relative atomic mass? Would you be able to complete and balance chemical equations? Would you also be able to know how to convert from one unit to the other unit? Do you know the test for ammonia, carbon dioxide, water, test for hydrogen, and test for oxygen? Would you be able to calculate the volume of a given gas at RTP? And all these questions is with reference to your chapter of trigonometry. Now, with reference to energy, power, work, and mass and weight, would you be able to calculate kinetic and potential energy? How about power, work done, mass, and weight? Would you also be able to calculate pressure and give the correct units? Would you be able to define speed, inertia, and distance? Can you define energy and give examples of each? Do you know your energy conversion? Would you be able to state the differences between renewable and non-renewable energy sources? Now, with reference to electricity and magnetism, you must ask yourself this following question. Do you know your electrical symbols? Would you be able to draw and all the electrical symbols and also draw electrical circuit using the electrical symbols? Can you calculate electricity? How about cost and electrical power? Would you be able to identify the different types of transformer and also explain how they work? How about an electrical motor? Do you know the uses of electromagnets? Would you be able to label and identify your poles? Do you know ways electricity can be made safer? Can you calculate voltage, resistance, and how about current? And all of these questions is with reference to the topic electricity and magnetism. Now, let's go to environment chemistry. Do you know the importance of water and can you state its uses in the industry? Would you be able to describe the negative effects of overuse of fertilizers? How about the advantages and the disadvantages of fertilizers? Can you identify the gases that causes acid rain? How about the effect of acid rain on the environment? And all of these questions come with reference from the chapter Environmental Chemistry. Now let's look at matter and thermal physics. Do you know the difference between the following terms? Condensation, boiling, evaporation, and melting. Do you know what is an isotope? Would you be able to give examples of isotopes? Would you be able to also identify and name the different radioactive decay? Do you know the different particles that is emitted? Can you define radiation? Do you know the different types of thermometers we get? And would you be able to explain how they work? Now, once again, please take note that this is not the examination paper. This is only question to guide you in your preparation for the examinations. I wish you all the best of luck for the examination. And once again, please make use of the NAMCOL examination booklet for more information. And remember that input is always equal to output. Start to prepare yourself very early and do not try to study all the work the day before the examination. I thank you and good luck.